Hey y'all, I'm Bree Holbert, currently a third-year student at Chico State, majoring in agriculture science and education. I serve as the AS Director of Legislative Affairs, where I work on voter registration and census with a group of talented people. I'm also a part of Chico State Crew, a Christian community on campus, as well as a peer advisor at the Chico State College of Agriculture Student Success Office. And at all the places I've gotten to be at on campus, I realize that there's a lot of student stories that need to be elevated. And so I want to work with all of you to continue to make our campus stronger.
Hello everyone, my name is Alex Smith and I am running for AS President. I am running on a campaign of student needs and student well-being. I have previously served for 2 years on various AS councils and committees, and I am currently sitting as your senator for the College of Humanities and Fine Arts.
My number one priority as AS President is to provide for educational resources that are equitable, so equitable education. And I know there's a lot of layers that are peeled back in that, and I want to face that challenge head on as your AS President. Our historically marginalized students are the ones that are hit really hard in this issue, whether they be after the campfire where we didn't have our basic needs or housing, whether that be in the library where we're faced with a lot of racial tension, or whether that be after the rallies and the protests that we had on campus last semester, which caused a lot of political turmoil as well as made students feel unsafe. I want to be able to provide students with the resources after those events instead of them being like, where do I go and who really cares about me? How I want to do that is through opening up space. MECHA, past scholars, as well as resources like the Dream Center have shared spaces. And I want to be able to make those spaces bigger and provide more programming, which requires money, in order for them to feel as if they are seen. And I know that things like this are going to cost money. And I understand that the CSU system is going through a huge budget crisis where, unlike Chico State, we don't have a lot of students enrolling in our system. And so I want to work with University Advancement as well as the AS to see how we can allocate more money to these programs, because I believe equitable education is extremely important, especially now.
My first priority when getting into office is to be addressing student basic needs, including food insecurity and housing insecurity. More than 50% of our students are food insecure, 43% are housing insecure, and 15% are homeless. These are intense problems, and especially accentuated by this coronavirus and the social distancing that comes with it. With the shelter-in-place order, students are losing their jobs, they're getting their hours cut, and they are more reliant on social services than ever. Yet they're still paying full tuition and still paying for their rent here in Chico. My biggest challenge with accomplishing this is going to be cooperation. We need to cooperate with the city, we need to cooperate with the university, and we need to cooperate with the state, as the Associated Students doesn't have all of the resources necessary to address this huge problem. The university has a responsibility to help promote our education, and part of that is addressing our basic needs. Students have a hard time balancing their work life, their school life, and their social lives here at Chico State, and it is surveyed as the largest barrier to our education. So the university needs to take responsibility, and not for it to be just on the individual or their parent, as not everybody is afforded that right. Shared governance is often a term used by university administrators, faculty, and staff to illustrate their commitment to including students in decision-making. I want to continue this commitment that we have as students to be included in this decision-making, but I think that students should be at the forefront. There are more than 16,600 students here at Chico State, all of which who have paid to be there or who through scholarship have earned the right to be on this campus. And this campus is here to serve us as students. Yet we are only represented by 1 or 2 positions through the Associated Students on various university committees. 1 or 2 positions is not enough to adequately address the needs of our students. So I, as president, would advocate for more positions to help adequately represent our students through the diversity of voices that we have. I will ask student organizations to nominate people to be students at large at these committees, and to have a larger student voice in these discussions, because students should be the driver for change and the voices in the room when they're making decisions that directly affect students.
The biggest thing that will tie administration, faculty, and staff, as well as AS officers together is our communication and making sure that we treat each other as equals and also understand that we all have a unified mission, and that is solely to serve the students, faculty, and staff on our campus. This last year, as the AS Director of Legislative Affairs, I tackled issues like the Custom and Border Patrol on campus, where students didn't feel comfortable going to class or going to certain spaces because Customs and Border Patrol were tabling. I worked hard with fellow AS officers to find out ways that students can mitigate being around them and for them to be on campus. And so I worked with the university administration and the communications team at the university and saw no results. Saw no help to be able to send that message out to students to make them feel comfortable. And again, that's that endless cycle of this issue is happening, there's nothing being done about it, I'm just gonna forget about it. I don't want us to forget about it. I want us to be able to communicate with administration and say, hey, these issues are going on, how can we work together? How can we communicate better in order to serve our students? Communication is very key, and it's time for all of us, administration, staff and faculty, as well as students that are elected leaders, to be seen as equals and work together better, because we are stronger together.